Hey guys, what's going on? This is Manga by Volume, and today I want to talk with you guys about a series that is very near and dear to me, and that is One Piece. Now, if you don't know, or if you're not familiar with our manga, they are currently doing a One Piece Re-Read-a-thon, in which every week they are going. There's going to be a post on Sunday on the subreddit our manga, where we'll be reading one volume every week, and it started last week, so now we're on volume 2. And I just kind of wanted to make this video to both talk about the first 2 volumes of One Piece and kind of give you guys my thoughts and my background with the series, because it is a series that is pretty important to me, and it's important to my entire without One Piece, basically, I wouldn't be a manga fan today. You could also say that about Yu-Gi-Oh! To an extent, because without Yu-Gi-Oh! I never would have, picked up that first Shonen Jump magazine with the Blue Eyes White Dragon inside of it. But it wasn't until I read One Piece that I really got into the format of manga and wanted to read more. Now, I have since sold my, well, I don't even remember if I sold them or if I gave them away or whatever, but I used to have up to like volume 9 or something like that when I was a kid. And of course they had the gold embossed lettering here, and on the spine as well. I have since, of course, picked up the East Blue box set, volumes 1 through 23. So I'm actually ahead of what I used to have as a kid. But I do kind of miss the gold lettering. It was always kind of cool because it felt like a piece of treasure every new volume I got. And they also used to not have the arc title. It used to just be, I think for volume 1 it said Romance Dawn right here, and for volume 2 it said Buggy the Clown. Now, God, I love this series so much. Okay, anyways, what I was saying. Yeah, it wasn't until I started reading One Piece that I really got into manga. And for a while, One Piece was the only manga that I would read. I also loved, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, those kind of things. I actually wasn't a fan of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga when I first read it as a kid. Of course, that's changed. I'm actually really into the darker Yu-Gi-Oh! Of Season 0 or whatever. But One Piece, right? There's nothing quite like it, really. The art style is very unique, very stylized and colorful, and it's just a lot of fun. One Piece, above all else, One Piece is very fun. It's the most fun I've ever had reading manga. I'm kind of capturing that again with My Hero Academia, but nothing will ever get to the level of One Piece, and I'm still so far behind in the manga. So I really wanted to jump on this reread and get all caught up back with One Piece, because it's a volume per week. So I actually binged these together today and yesterday, and it just immediately recaptured my love for One Piece, because I haven't read any One Piece for years and years. I think the last volume I read was when I was in 9th grade or something like that. So this is definitely me jumping back into the series. Before I jump into talking about each individual volume, I did want to discuss this. This came with the box set. It's a single chapter. This was the prototype for chapter 1. This is Romance Dawn. Now, as for the book itself, it's really cool. You could see the style isn't quite what it is now. It's the faces are like longer, the expressions are more serious and whatnot. He didn't really find his, I don't know, like that. That's very different from what we see now, that expression. But yeah, this book also has some really cool Q&A with Oda Sensei. That's what they call him in the manga, or in the book here. But yeah, this prototype chapter really, it's kind of a combination of these first two volumes, because we get the Luffy and Shanks origin story, but we also have Nami, except her name is Silk in this. And instead of Buggy, we get Crescent Moon Gary. But there's a lot. Basically, you can really see the foundation of One Piece in this single chapter, and it's expanded upon so much. But one notable difference that I found, and reading these back to back really helped, was that Luffy explains to Silk that he is not a bad pirate. There are two kinds of pirates, he says. Ones that plunder everything, and those are Morganeers. And then the pirates that rob those pirates and explore are peacemains. And he wants to be a peacemain. Now, if he had explained that to Nami and Zolo to begin with in volumes 1 and 2 here, then that would have probably cut out a lot of conflict. But one thing that I realized reading these is that, or rereading these, is that one Luffy isn't the kind of person that would explain that kind of thing. Luffy is a man of action. He doesn't talk a lot, and that's really cool. All right, so moving on to Volume 1. This, of course, Romance Dawn. This sets up the Luffy Shanks story, where he eats the gum fruit, and you see Luffy as a kid, and that's he stabs himself in the eye in like the first couple of pages, and that's how he gets the scar under his eye, which I think is a really cool detail, because he keeps that for the rest of the series. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, you really get the sense in this first volume that Oda knew exactly where he wanted to go with the series. And he even says in the interview chapters in this book here, he says that he's constantly looking towards the goal, towards One Piece, and he's building everything towards that. And you really get that sense, like, even though, all these little arcs, like against Captain Morgan and Buggy the Clown, you really get the sense that everything's building towards something. And that's something that I think One Piece has really succeeded at over the years. But this first volume with Toby and Zolo is just awesome. I also like, in later volumes, you actually get like Helmeppo sailing away and meeting Buggy the Clown, and just little details. All these characters do make an impact and come back in the future. I'm not sure if Toby comes back yet. Haven't gotten to that point if he does. But this first team up between Zolo and Luffy, and watching Luffy, gain the respect of all of his crew members when he meets them. It's just a fun ride throughout. I just love this first volume. It was such a great read. A lot of iconic moments, and like Honestly, when I first got these two, okay, so like I read when I was a kid, I read the chapters as they came out in Shonen Jump. But then after a while, I stopped getting Shonen Jump, and I started just ordering the volumes on Amazon. And I actually ordered volumes 1 and 2 together, and I have read these two probably more times than any other piece of media ever. Like there would be days when I was a kid bored during summer where I would just, you know, read this this volume just over and over again. And it got to the point where as I was rereading them now, several years later, I actually remembered a lot of the lines, and I was actually predicting them and like noting, certain translation differences in the new printings. It's actually kind of cool. God, I love One Piece so much. I am kind of disappointed that they did the East Blue thing and they took out the taglines, because I always thought those were cool. Oh, Zolo is such a badass. I love Zolo. Captain Morgan was a really good first villain. Well, of course, we also got, Alvida or Alvida, whatever the hell, however you pronounce it. And of course, she comes back later with some skinny devil fruit or whatever. But this was a phenomenal, great first volume, and I love Nami's introduction as well. Man, okay. Anyways, moving on to volume 2. For the longest time, Buggy the Clown was my absolute favorite villain in anything. I just love his design so much, and the Chop Chop Fruit is one of the coolest powers, I think, because he gets to Darth Vader people. Like, where does he do it? He just grabs him by the throat. Yeah, there he goes. But yeah. This second volume takes place mostly in the same spot, in the same port town, whereas volume 1 kind of took place all over the place, because it was Luffy going to the naval base, or sorry, his origin, going to save Toby, then on to the naval base, and then finally on to Port Town, where he meets Nami and Buggy, and that's where all of this volume takes place. But I also love Buggy's first and second mate. I think the acrobat thing, the whole circus theme that Buggy's crew has going on, is just, it was really cool to see. Very unique at the time, for me anyways. But this, and then this moment with Zolo re-aiming the cannon at Buggy. Man, this manga has so many great moments, and just the themes of friendship and how everyone has a treasure, even if it's not worth anything monetarily. It's worth something to them. Like the dog, Chow Chow, his treasure is the pet food store. Luffy's is his hat, and Zolo has his swords. And then, of course, the mayor has his entire town. And, man, just great volume. Zolo is just constantly a badass. I also love all the sketches and stuff that he puts. Oda also talks about like Vikings in some of the asides here. Let me see if I can find one. Yeah, here we go. Some nice educational stuff about Vikings and pirates. That's kind of the kind of stuff that you miss when you read online. Just all that extra stuff. So, yeah, not much else to say about this volume, but this pissed me the hell off when I was a kid. So this was a lot of fun to make, When I was a kid, I followed all the instructions, and then I got bored of it immediately. But every time I would go to reread this volume, I'd be missing a page, because you had to cut this page out to get Luffy for the thing. Now, you could just make a, a copy, but as a kid, I didn't really have access to that. And, yeah, I just fucked up my book. So every time I would read volume 3, I'd be missing, like, some context, and that kind of annoyed me. So I'm glad to not have to worry about that anymore, I guess. I don't know. Anyways. So yeah, that's about all I have to say about these two volumes. I really do... this was such a strong start to such a great series. And, yeah, I can't wait until... I don't know if I'm going to be doing one of these every single week, because there's really only so much I can say about each volume individually. But, yeah, those are my thoughts on this great series, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm not sure if I'll be doing something like this again, but if you liked it, let me know. This is Manga by Volume, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.